Okay, so we just practiced how to evacuate in case of a fire alarm. Everything went really well until we came back to the office when the siren was still blaring. So I think it has stopped now, but for now a good 10 minutes it's been intermittently going off. And I'm on my lunch break. I don't get paid for this time. I would like to be undisturbed at this time. So, do I get a refund for the 15 minutes, the 10-15 minutes that I just spent being blared at or rung at? Because we don't have a beeping fire alarm, we have a ringing. Anyway, I didn't bring my fun knitting to work, or for my commute rather, because that will mean that I don't get anything done on the Cascade top. And the Cascade top is so boring. It's just, I think I understand why people like the Sandnes Line results, because it's very flowy, like this, very flowy, very light, and it feels like it will hold a cool temperature long, which would make it ideal for a summer garment or a layering piece. But it's just so splitty. See? Just immediately splits into the 3 strands that are then double twisted. So it's 6 strands that are twisted together into 3. But the 2 strands that are twisted together, they don't really come untwisted. But the 3 twisted together stitches, twisted together strands, they split very easily. Oh yeah, and we also have construction during the lunch hour, and my office isn't somewhere where I could go out and be gone for the lunch hour. Or I could, but it would be cold and I don't want to. Ooh, this morning I saw that all of a sudden, from seemingly one day to the other, everyone in Stockholm has realised that it's autumn. So everyone was wearing autumn colours, autumn jackets, layering. I saw some beautiful scarves, I saw some gorgeous hats, and everyone is just looking very cozy, and the trees are really turning. I am so happy about the aesthetics of everything, because after the weekend where just the entire Saturday, the entire day of the wedding that we were attending was just an absolute rainstorm. I think the storm was called Amy, is that right? And on the west coast, where it's just a straight wind tunnel in from the ocean, no land to protect, or Denmark to protect, but Denmark is still a way away, and more than that, just ocean and wind straight from the ocean. And now being a bit more protected in Stockholm, and having the beautiful autumn weather here that was just rained away in the south of Sweden, I feel very happy to be back home. The evening yesterday was very good for me, having the evening to myself. was good. I spent some time knitting, as you saw if you watched my vlog yesterday, and I felt very relaxed and able to let go of expectations or stress. I mean, we still have some things to unpack from the move. I still have some things to build, like I have shelves that I need to put up, or that we need to put up, but I said that I would do it. And we have a footstool that I should get around to building because I want to paint it. But I didn't feel the need yesterday to do a lot of things. So in that way, the massage was really good, I think, because it did help me relax. It was also at a clinic where people are training to become not physiotherapists, but they were training. So I didn't get a full professional treatment, but I did get a treatment of someone, a professional to be. So that was, and it was a good experience. I was a bit afraid of having hey, yeah, you fell up. Getting interrupted. I was a bit afraid because of the quite aggressive massage that I got in my neck and shoulders, that the tension would sort of creep up into a headache, but it didn't. I fell asleep like, not like a baby, because babies do not sleep very well, as I've heard, but I fell asleep like a very happy kitten falling asleep, and didn't wake up with any headache and feel quite relaxed today. A bit sore, as if I had been working out my traps and my neck, but all in all, a good experience and well worth the money that I spent on it. She asked me what I do, and I said, yeah, I have a desk job and I knit and I play a contact sport. So she was like, okay, so your neck and shoulders are taking quite a lot of damage. And I said, yes, they are. I was going to say, I'll just finish this row and then I'll get back to work, or I'll prepare for my next meeting. But the problem with this project in the round is that there isn't a specific end to a round, because I'm not using a stitch marker for this to mark my beginning of round, because I don't need to know where I begun the round. It's not going to matter. There's no shaping, and it would just be unnecessary. And also, I did have a beginning of round marker, but I used it to hold together the stitches in the I-cord. Instead of properly grafting it together, I just chucked a stitch marker in, holding the stitches together, and said, I'll deal with that later. So my plan today is to stay quite late to get some work finished. So once 12:45 rolls around, that's when I start working again. Then I'll stay at work for quite a while after my last meeting, because I have some catching up to do and some preparations to get ahead of. And then I will go pick up my book from the library. The Joyful Sock book, Joyful Colourwork Sock, Happy Sock Knitting by Charlotte Stone, which I'm very excited about. I did order some yarn, as I said in yesterday's vlog. I could actually show you. No, I'll show you when I get it. The content would be better for me showing a screenshot of the yarn that I bought. But I got some different sock yarn because I wanted to try different sock qualities. So how would the different sock yarns hold up? How would they work up? How would I like working with them? And as soon as they get here, or even before that, because I do have some sock yarn that I could work with, I wanted to cast on a silly pair of autumn socks for myself from Charlotte Stone's book. So I'll see which pattern grabs my attention the most. Probably all of them. But I do have a lot of sock scraps left from my different sock knitting projects, and also I inherited quite a few sock scraps from my great aunt, and I would like to actually use them for socks. So finding a pattern where I need a small amount of a contrast color, for example, and make something with some of the scraps. I mean, they are so numerous and so diverse, the scraps, that I need to knit big projects with the yarn scraps to actually make a dent in the pile. But I have some projects in the back of my mind that I could get around to finishing at some point or another. So Colourwork Socks is definitely one of those ideas that I have the highest hopes in, because what I'm currently working on is the Royal Winter Socks by Toby Beck that I cast on yesterday for the second time. And I think, because now I'm working them on a 3mm needle because I don't have a 2.75mm needle, that might end up being what I should have done, getting a 2.75, but the 2.5mm needle with 72 stitches, that was too tight, and it barely fit over my heel, but then it was all stretched out on my leg, so the colour work didn't really shine. And now I wonder if the 3mm needle is better for the gauge, but that the yarn might be too thin, so that the floats will peek out through the fabric in its relaxed state. So I will see. I will continue knitting this evening, I think. At least try to finish one of the pattern repeats, which is, I think, 20 odd rows, to see how that knits up. And if it is too loose, then I have two options. Either I scrap the Arwetta altogether. I say that it's just too thin of a yarn for me to be happy with on the needles that I like to work with, and go for a thicker yarn, or I try and work a needle size that gives me a good dense fabric, but I might need to go up a size, so increase the number of stitches to get the proper fit. So I will see where we end up, because it's a very soft yarn. I would like to make the Arwetta work, mainly because of the quality of the yarn as I've seen it so far. I mean, I don't know how it washes and wears, except that it shrinks a tiny bit on the first wash. That I do know, because I did wash my swatch. but also because of the color selection. They have so many colors in the Arwetta sock yarn, and I would like to have a go-to sock yarn, a single color, a unicolor sock yarn that I know feels luxurious and makes beautiful colorwork socks, and that is also accessible to me. The Filcolana is a Danish brand, although the wool I think is Peruvian. I will correct myself here if I'm wrong, but it means that the yarn is very accessible to me in Sweden. So, and I have worked with Drops, Fabel, and Fiesta, but I think those sock yarns are a bit too thick for my liking. So I really like the feeling of the merino wool in the Arwetta. This is my second ball, by the way, of this yarn, and this size asks for 5 balls of yarn, and I don't know where the other are intended to go. So much that I actually went back several times to read through the pattern to see if I was supposed to hold this double. Because how do I fit this much and 3 more balls of yarn into one tank top? I mean, I get that it's a bigger size than I'm used to, but how long do they expect this to become? I'm going to go back and look again if I was supposed to hold it double, because that would explain why I feel like the gauge is a bit too loose, or that the pattern is a bit too see-through. I will check again. It still says light fingering weight. This is the suggested yarn, and the pattern is supposed to work up to a 59 centimeter length. Length from where? From the shoulder, from the bottom of the v-neck, from the back, from the armpit. I'm sure it's in the written pattern. I'm just on the Ravelry page right now, but 2.5, 3.5, no, 2.5, maths, but 3.5 more balls of yarn. I think it might be incredibly long if I used all 4 or 5 balls of the yarn. Am I missing something? Because I cannot imagine knitting 3.5 more balls of this yarn in this pattern. It's so incredibly boring. I am finished for today. I managed some good progress on my socks, which I'm happy about. I did get some rows done on my Cascade top at work during the lunch hour, the very loud lunch hour, and the banana bread turned out really well. I'm happy I did manage to snag a bite of it just before we now headed to bed. And oh yeah, and the food, the pie with the mushrooms, with the chanterelles, was really tasty too. It's such a good staple autumn food. Love it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So click a like button, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you then. Take care.